Hello, hello, the Tenacious Butterfly here. I'm here today to talk about, always talking about self-care, but today I want to focus on a specific topic, and that is Meniere's disease and vertigo. And I'm doing this because I have been experiencing this for the last week. It's day 7. So I wanted to just talk about it a little bit, bring awareness, tell my story. So first, I want to just say I was diagnosed with Meniere's disease in March of 2019. After, so it's been over 3 years now that I've been having episodes of vertigo and tinnitus and temporary hearing loss, or like muffledness in my, it's in my right ear. It affects every part of your life, while it's a silent type disorder or condition. So I wanted to just kind of talk about it, bring some awareness to it, share my story here. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to go ahead and subscribe to my channel, like this video and share it. If you know anyone that is dealing with Meniere's and or vertigo and tinnitus. So what Meniere's disease is it's a condition of the inner ear that affects your balance and your hearing to a certain degree. And what I mean by that is typically when I'm experiencing it, I get temporary hearing loss or like a muffled type sound effect to my right ear. And over the last 3 years since I've been having this happen, it's always been my right ear. Other things is like a ringing in the ear, which is the tinnitus. Other things is I feel very dizzy and off balance, and that makes you nauseated. It can also make you feel very sad or depressed, considering it affects every part of your life, while it's silent in a sense. So the Meniere's disease causes or can cause the vertigo. So if you've ever heard or know anything about vertigo, it just, you feel like the room is spinning and you can never get your balance. And typically when you have those episodes of vertigo, they typically are first thing in the morning, when you wake up and you turn to get up and get out of the bed, and you're just like, whoa, what just happened? The room is spinning and you have to stop. I know the very first time that I experienced it, it was one night. I was very tired the night before, got up the next morning, and when I got up to just walk off and go to the restroom like I normally do every morning, I literally stumbled and fell. And as I tried to get up, I'm thinking, what in the heck is going on? Something is wrong. So I start screaming for my husband. I'm like, something is wrong. Oh my God, you need to take me to the hospital. You know, the room is, I can't stop spinning. I can't get my balance. I'm nauseated. And so he picked me up, took me to the restroom, took me to the hospital. They said it was an episode of vertigo. It took days to go away. And so then, after that first episode of it, there were just every few months I would have it. And then it became every few weeks. And then I would go a few months. And so it just depends. You can even have seconds or minutes of vertigo where you feel dizzy, or like the room is spinning, or like your head is like a little loopy and you can't completely get your balance. And so they came to this diagnosis after me, you know, missing work. I couldn't drive. I can't drive when I'm experiencing an episode because you don't have balance and it's not safe to drive. So I don't drive. I typically don't do anything. Typically when I'm having an episode, I try to just lay around and rest. Now, when I first had it, I would be all stressing and like worried and like, oh my God, I need to do this, I need to do that. I can't just lay around. Oh my God, please give me my balance back type thing, you know, just kind of panicking and worried and stressing. And now I've learned, and that kind of can make you a little bit depressed, because you constantly worry about worrying your loved ones or the people that are around to help you. Now that my children and my husband and my family understand my condition, they're very helpful. You know, they give me my days that I need to just lay around and rest. They help me. They bring me food and coffee and drinks and everything right to the bed, because they know that it drains me. They know that I don't have balance, and they know that if I could do those things, I absolutely would do those things, because I definitely have the will. I'm very tenacious. So, but I kind of just wanted to come and talk about it, because, you know, typically you don't see this diagnosis until, you know, around age 40 to 60. I'm 38, and I was diagnosed with it last year in 2019. But I took a series of tests. You know, I was having to miss work because of it, because I couldn't drive, because you know, I didn't have my balance. There were times where, you know, I would just work from home when I could, because sometimes, you know, after the onset and you're like in the second phase of it, you know, you can sit still at times and not feel dizzy, but if you move too fast, or you turn a certain way, or you turn or move too fast, turn a corner too fast, it activates it, and so then things are like all off balance again. So, you know, there are times that I can just sit at my desk and do my work, and luckily I'm blessed enough to have a job where I can, you know, work from home when I need to, and my job is very understanding of it. I've been on FMLA, I've been on short term, you know, everything, because it has affected my life in so many ways. So the other thing I wanted to just kind of talk about was some of the things that, I want to go back and talk about a few of the tests. So there are hearing tests, vestibular tests, there's, you know, the Epley maneuver there that, you know, you can do either with your ENT at physical therapy or at home on your own. But I suggest, if you're having those symptoms, to reach out to an ENT, get you an appointment, get you a referral, because I do have to meet with my ENT. But I've seen a neurologist, I've seen all types of doctors, even an allergist. They had me do a CAT scan. You know, I was just in physical therapy, you name it. They ran every test to try to figure out why I was having so many episodes of the vertigo and the tinnitus. Until, you know, again, that's when, so I had been dealing with this for probably 2 years, or by the time they finally diagnosed me with Meniere's disease. So 2 years of that is so frustrating. I feel better now because I've done my research. You know, I'm on a daily med that's supposed to help with the Meniere's to keep the inner ear from flaring. And, you know, when that inner ear flares, it can cause the crystals to dislodge inside of your inner ear, which affects your balance and your balance system. So you want to try to keep down, or I try to keep down, from guidance from my doctor, to minimize my sodium and salt intake, to minimize caffeine, and just try to eat a healthier diet. So that's also helpful. And then there's another medicine that I take that makes me sleepy. So I don't take that one all the time, but I do take the other one daily. So this episode started on last Saturday, which was, I think, the 23rd. Today is Saturday, the 28th. I am probably about 95% back to myself. There's still some that I feel if I turn or move too fast, but I'm feeling back to myself pretty much, almost there. So my longest episode probably was about 14 days, 2 weeks. Typically what I see when it happens is it's typically 5 to 7 days typically is what I see. Usually around day 7, 8, 9, I'm like, okay, I'm getting back to myself. But you got to remember, this affects people that are dealing with it, whether it's those that have the seconds to minutes, those that have the days, those that have the weeks, months, years. It affects, you know, those people that are suffering from that drastically. drastically. My doctor recommended that I, write down everything, that I'm eating and things that I'm doing the day before, or, a few days before the onset of an episode of the vertigo and or tinnitus. And so I started doing that. And it's helpful because then I always have my notes to refer back to when I'm at my doctor's appointments. And I can give my doctor a clear picture of what I'm doing and what my life has been like prior to that. Another very, very important thing that I feel attributes to the vertigo is stress. My doctor, or doctors are not really saying that. So I'm saying I think that stress is a big factor in the vertigo onsets and throughout the time period. I know, again, like I was saying, when I would have an episode back before I educated myself and was dealing with it so much that I kind of knew how to relax and just kind of take it one day at a time, and I was like stressed and trying to get back. I was in a very stressful time in my life. My job was very stressful. And just, it was a lot going on, and, I would have these onsets of the vertigo, and then I was stressed self-consciously with wanting to get back to myself, and it just wouldn't make it any better. But I definitely think that stress is a factor, and you definitely want to try to keep your stress levels down. And I know that's hard sometimes. You have everyday stress in your life, but at all possible, if you can eliminate the stress, just try to. And like I said, just make sure that you have people around you that are very knowledgeable of it. And so if they don't understand what you're going through, I encourage you to have them go out and watch other videos or read articles about it so they can truly understand it. Typically when they hear it from someone else, or they see, other people just explain it or talk about it, it's like it hits home for them. I know one of my friends mentioned that to me. I was telling her about my condition. She knew I was having these episodes. She went out and did her own research. She came back and she's like, oh my God, I didn't really understand it until I truly sat down and did my own research. So that meant a lot to me that she took the time to go and do that. Same as my family. My mom is very understanding, my sisters, and like I said, my husband and my children, they all know what to do when it's happening, and they're all very understanding. But yeah, so definitely I want to encourage you to relax. Just take one day at a time. Watch what you eat. Don't push yourself too hard. Don't beat yourself up. Remember to put you first. Everyone else around you can take care of themselves, or there is someone that can help you. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Also, I want to encourage you to journal, because it's very important that you journal your experience, what you're doing, what you're eating, how your life's journey. That way you have a clear picture. And so I do have guided self-care journals that I would encourage you to go out to my website and purchase or take a look at, and subscribe to my blogs, and follow me on social media. My website is www.TheTenaciousButterfly.com. You can follow me on YouTube at TheTenaciousButterfly, at Facebook and Instagram at TheTenaciousButterfly, on Twitter, _tenacious. And then follow all of my social media platforms. I typically discuss self-care and, the importance of putting you first, putting me first, we first. But I am a vertigo, Ménière's sufferer. So, I'll be touching on that from time to time. So I'll leave all of the links in the description box below. If you have any questions or comments or anything, feel free to leave a comment or a question below. I'm not giving out any medical advice. I am simply telling you my story, what I'm dealing with, what helps me, what I go through, and how me and my family deal with it. So by no means I'm giving any, advice here. I'm just telling my story. But my email, if you have any questions, is TheTenaciousButterfly@gmail.com. I would love to hear any of your comments, so leave those below as well. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this video, and again, feel free to head over to my website. I'll leave everything in the description box below, and I hope that you all have a great day, and don't forget to put you first.